For those of you who are new to the channel, those are killer bees, and we're killer bee exterminators. Killer bees were created in a Brazilian biolab in 1957. I like to say biolab. It sounds ominous.
Yeah, it sounds bigger
right?
too.
Yeah, like they were
this square
cloning.
footage.
They were cloning sheep in there.
Oh God, they were cloning aliens. Actually, yeah, they got around to bees in their spare time. It makes it sound like more square footage too. Actually,
right?
Like a bigger environment.
Yeah, it's a bigger facility.
Test tubes.
It was 1957.
They didn't barely had indoor plumbing, for Christ's sake.
In Sao Paulo?
Yeah.
Maybe
well, no,
not.
they did. No, they did. In
We don't
Brazil.
know.
No,
we
don't
weren't
know.
there.
No.
Who was there was a Warwick Kerr.
Dr. Warwick Kerr.
Dr. Warwick Kerr.
Yeah, scientist,
and he was leading the whole thing, and he brought African queen bees over.
From South Africa.
They were so hot. And no, I mean, it was hot. In
Okay,
South
well,
Africa.
it's true. It's Brazil. Literally,
Brazil
and
was
that's
hot.
why they brought these over.
Yeah, so they
'Cause-
crossbred them with European drones.
Which don't do go where it's hot.
Really boring.
Or actually in jungle.
It was the most
hot and humid?
boring bee sex
Oh, boring.
ever.
Oh, my God. You had to
However-
watch the drones and you don't want to go there.
However, their offspring was awesome. Killer bees. Killer bees. They call them Africanized.
Awesome?
Yeah, they're awesome. They're
Where's
killer
that
bees.
3 Well, there it is.
Yeah. Radical insects. But they make twice as much honey. They wouldn't get sick because European honeybees are just shit.
Well, they're sickly and
They're
they need...
sick.
I had to read bedtime stories.
They drink their tea with their pinkies in
Oh,
the
they
hair.
do. They do. Mine used to. It was a pain in the ass every night. Read them bedtime stories and bring them tea.
Horrible.
Yeah.
High maintenance.
Yep.
That's what we
yep.
can say about
They
European
literally were.
honeybees.
You'd have to feed them. You'd have to feed them in the spring so they wouldn't starve out before the spring flowers would come. They were literally high maintenance. Yeah.
But the offspring was real sturdy, real strong bee, disease resistant. They don't get the varroa mites. When colony collapse was happening in California, did you like that? Saying it without saying California.
Took me a
Colony
minute.
collapse.
Took me a
Everybody's
minute.
like, oh, the bees. Didn't phase these things. Didn't phase these things. Now, they make twice as much honey. They're just tough as nails, but they're deadly. They kill people, they kill pets, they kill livestock.
Invasive, blah, blah.
And they're invasive. They don't belong here. They didn't evolve here alongside our native plants, and so they pose an existential threat to our native pollinators. Honeybees, whether they're Africanized or European, they hoard pollen and resources, right? They take the nectar, they take the pollen, they gather it all up, and they keep it in one place. And if the pollen's in the hive, it's not in the ecosystem. And no other insects have access to that. That's a problem. Same with the nectar. You know, these are the food things that our native plants and native pollinators need. Well, they escaped from the lab. Big surprise there.
Kind of let out, actually, by
They were let out.
They're putting the bee back in imbecile.
It was an act of incompetence. Somebody let them out, and they spread out in a 300-mile-a-year radius from Sao Paulo, Brazil. They headed north. They took over Mexico. They took over Central America, all those countries there, and they hit the U.S. in the early 90s. By 1998, 100% of the feral unmanaged honeybee hives in the state of Arizona were deemed Africanized by laboratory scientists in Tucson. So the situation's only gotten worse here. It's not like, oh, now, the European bees move back in. No, these bees win. This is the better bee. They're dangerous. They kill people. Like I said, they kill pets. They kill livestock. And they're bad for our ecosystem here. They're bad for our native plants and pollinators. We destroy every hive we find, and we're going to X this killer beehive. Come on.